Hey MGTOWs, I'm out here at the park again, busting out a few miles, making a pretty good time, building up a pretty good sweat. I'm going to make a good, quick video here, hopefully a good video too, on, oh, there's a deer out there, just got distracted. I stubbed my toe and then I saw a deer. On crazy old men. Crazy old men. Crazy old women won't find me a woman who's not crazy. But I'm going to talk about crazy old men. Not all old men. You know, some men are, born crazy and live crazy and die crazy. But I'm going to talk specifically about a specific kind of crazy old man. He's always at least, this guy I'm talking about is always, no one specific that I know, I'm just speaking generally of people that I come across. Always at least in his late 50s, in his 60s, 70s, 80s, and even older. I bumped into guys even older. Bumped into a guy 92, I think. But yeah, they're always friendly, coming up to me, saying something about his wife, have to go do this and do that, the wife. And I'll say, yeah. And they'll say, what about you? And I'll say, nope. I'm not married. I said, I'm not married and I have no kids. I have no desire to. And immediately this guy will just, what? I mean, just like it's the craziest thing he's ever heard. Like, that's not an option in life. What are you talking about, kid? You're crazy. I just let him know. I don't tell him about MGTOW or the divorce rate or anything, but I just tell him that it's not something that interests me. And yeah, he'll just look at me like I'm nuts. Like I'm the craziest person he's ever seen. I'm sure he thinks I'm some kind of a psychopath or a gay guy or a pervert or something, but nope. Nothing could be further from the truth. I guess this guy has never thought any differently than how he thinks. He's never thought outside of the box probably in his life. He got married in 1968. He might still be married, but I wouldn't necessarily go calling people who stay married, calling that relationship a successful marriage. Just because it doesn't end in divorce doesn't mean that it's a successful marriage. Most married people are just absolutely miserable. But yeah, this guy's never thought any differently. You just get married when you're, in your early 20s, or sometime in your 20s usually, and you just get married, and you go buy a big house, and you let your wife spend all of your money you earn on junk, while she does very little to bring any money into the relationship. Most women, all they bring to a relationship is sex, usually. And that usually becomes pretty dismal after about a few years of being married, from what I hear. And yeah, you just buy a big old house, 3-4 bedroom, and you just let your wife pack it full of crap. Just pack it full of crap. She decorates the entire house. She has all the purchasing power in the relationship. The car in the driveway, you better believe she picked that out. She might let you have your own space in the garage if you're lucky. If you do, you are going to hear about that space constantly. Anything you do in that garage, she's going to criticize. Whatever, maybe like woodworking, or you like working on cars out there. You got an old vintage motorcycle. I guarantee you're not going to hear enough about how stupid and silly your interests are. Just have a whiff out here of like cologne or perfume or something. Maybe I just bumped into a ghost. Probably sees me going ghost. Thinks I'm another ghost. But yeah, this crazy old man, he just has never thought differently in his life. And just getting married, and of course having kids. You have at least 2 or 3, maybe more. And yeah, that's just what you do. When you get married, and you let your wife spend all your money on garbage, and she basically runs your life for you. Keeps you on a leash until death do you part. Anyway, chances are you'll die first as a man. But yeah, it's always these crazy old men, looking at me like I'm from outer space. Really too bad. I kind of feel bad for him, It never occurred to these old guys that not getting married, not having kids, buying a smaller house, lower taxes, lower bills. I mean, if you want a big house, that's fine. If you can afford it, that's fine. Most of the people I know can't afford their small house that they might have, let alone their big house. But, what in the world is that? It's like a bandana hanging up there. It's getting kind of creepy out here. But yeah, I almost feel sorry for these old guys. They've never thought differently in their entire life. And their wives, they don't want them thinking differently. That's the last thing on earth they want. But I kind of wonder these crazy old guys, what kind of a history they've had, you know? Going across this, you can get kind of busy in there. Bike cruising through there and smoke into me. I don't need that. What was I saying? Oh yeah. It's never occurred to these old guys that you might want to live your life for you. You know, you don't want to live your life being led around on a leash by some woman. What if these guys have thought about going their own way? Oh yes, like I was saying, the history. You know, how many of these old guys' wives cheated on them with or without them knowing it? I think the statistics are 1 in 3. I know it's at least 1 in 4 people. 1 in 4 people who think their birth father is their birth father is not their birth father. Like, yeah, these happy couples and the woman is monkeying around with God knows who. For some reason, she wants to name your kid after a name that just so happens to be the same name that the mailman has. Huh. I actually know someone who that happened to. Swear to God. As much as an atheist can swear to God. And these old guys having these midlife crises, fooling around on their wives with whoever, you know. A lot of these guys are bi and have down low relationships with other men, whatever, you know, that's fine, but they go home to their miserable married lives with their houses full of junk. Because a woman is not responsible in a relationship. If you ask a woman to be responsible, that's basically a form of, you know, domestic violence. I think in Sweden now, in the country of Sweden, if a man says something to upset his wife, she can call the police and have him arrested for domestic violence. I swear, Sweden is I'm part Swedish, but yeah, they call Sweden the Nazi Germany of feminism. Anything that the Swedish feminist women conjure up usually starts to spread around the world, and of course is quickly eaten up. Fix my net here, I don't want bugs getting in. By the Western woman. This net is fantastic. It's full 360 protection. I recommend. I don't have to spray all that bug spray all over my face. They talk about that stuff causing brain tumors and mice and all this. I just use a little on my hands and on my lower legs because I have shorts on, but I'd rather have it on my hands and my legs and all over my friggin' face. People just like dousing their kids down, hosing them down with that off spray. Oh my God, that kid's gonna be dead of a brain tumor when he's 20. But yeah, like I said, I kind of feel bad for these old guys. They've never had an original idea or an original thought in their life. They've got their piddly shit man cave, and they got their piddly shit job that most of them are retired from. You know, their wife wants them to retire, basically so they can keep an eye on them, and basically so the wife has someone to nag. I don't think a lot of men know that nagging is well, they burp all over YouTube. Make a video on that next. Nagging is a form of hatred. Men usually kind of nag over like frustration. You know, they're just crotchety old men, and they just, you know. But women nag, I think, solely out of hatred. Nothing their husband says or does is right. Nothing their husband says or does is good enough. You ever hear in the news, like about these 70, 80-year-old men who have been married for 40, 50, 60 years, and all of a sudden, out of the blue, they murder their wife? You know, I'm not saying that's okay, because actually I hate violence and confrontation. I do. I can't stand it. It makes me so uncomfortable. I'm telling you what, some of the crap these guys put up with from their wives, I mean, you can't blame them. But yeah, it's always these crazy old men. How many kids you have? None. What? Like, like, that's not an option, because if you were like me and lived your life like me and my wife have a wonderful relationship. Oh, I bet you do. And I guarantee you, if you had DNA tests on all your kids, you'd have a pleasant surprise. Or your grandkids, because I guarantee you these modern women marrying your sons and grandkids are not interested in any kind of a long-term relationship. But yeah, if you know a guy out there watching this, you know, I doubt there is. A lot of them are computer illiterate. Not all, but a lot are. Always a crazy old men looking at me like I'm an alien from outer space. Oh, worm just landed on my shoulder. Look at that guy. Hitching a ride. Man. Come out here to get away from parasites. But okay. Yep, this is Arcus Bushrod. Please like and subscribe. And if you don't know where to go, just go MGTOW. Thank you very much.